React. But why React? What is up, guys? Today we're going to be starting a new video course on how you can start using React to build. It's going to be called Building with React. Originally, this was going to be called Freelancing with React, but I didn't want to pigeonhole this course into people who just want to freelance because I use React for both my jobs so far. I use it for both part-time jobs so far, and I've used it for things on the side just for fun, and I've used it for YouTube and freelancing. So you're going to be able to do all these things by the time you're done with this course. And I just kind of want to transfer my knowledge over to you guys. So a question that you might be asking yourself right now is, why learn React when I can learn something else? Why learn React when there's HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript or Vue, Angular, anything like that? And basically my answer to that is that React is pretty much eating the world right now. Small companies are using React, big companies are using React, internal projects are using React, even static sites that shouldn't be using React are using React. And so because of this, there's a ton of tooling being made and just the development environment around React and things like Next.js that are being made around React make it a really, really nice ecosystem to be a part of. Because it basically means that the more developers and the more development going on in an ecosystem, aka React here, the more people are trying to make it developer friendly, they're trying to make it a nicer developer experience and things like that. And so it really does start to feel like an enjoyable experience when you're developing with React. Okay, that's cool, Aaron, but what makes React special? So in essence, React is a JavaScript library that was created to help develop and render declarative user interfaces on the web. Or in other words, it was made to help improve the developer experience when doing web development. I personally really enjoy working in React because of all the development going on. Like I said earlier, there's a ton of resources, and once you get the basics down, it's really easy to get going and spin up a product for yourself or a client. And once you have these basics down, it's really easy to have like quicker feedback, development, and iteration cycles. So like you get feedback on a feature, you're able to iterate on that, develop that feature, put it into production, and get someone to feedback it more so that you can improve it more, if that makes sense. Or even just like time to build is really quick with React once you have more or less the basics down. So there are obviously going to be a ton of choices when it comes to learning web development, what framework or what library you should be using. So take it with a grain of salt, but this is my opinion. And I'm very biased, and I very much enjoy developing in React. And I mean, like, if you really wanted to get the most freelance clients or something, you can learn WordPress, which runs 40% of websites and around 60% of content management systems. But would it be enjoyable? Because this course is about learning an enjoyable framework or library that you can develop websites and web applications with easily. Regardless of whether or not you choose this course to learn React from, I encourage you to try as many frameworks as you can or as you want, and to choose one that you like the most, and to go as deep into it as you can, because most of the time, if you go as deep as you can, there will be corresponding ideas and concepts that will transfer between frameworks and languages. They'll transcend these frameworks, languages, even libraries sometimes, and you'll basically become a much better developer. So if you go really deep into React, you'll be able to drop yourself into Vue or Angular, and after a short ramp-up period, you should be just as productive in any web framework. So, moving on to the prerequisites for this course. Here is a great list of JavaScript prerequisites for what you should know before moving on and learning a framework like React, courtesy of Brad Traversy of Traversy Media. So this is the list of prerequisites. If a lot of comments say that they want me to make videos on these things as well, I can. But I'm going to skip them for now, assuming that everybody knows at least some of these. You don't need to master all these, and that's actually the key here. Because as long as you know how to do some things with most of these concepts, I think you should touch on at least one thing, or you should try to do each one of these concepts at least once, doing like one tutorial or something. That should be completely good enough, as long as you think you have a basic understanding, especially things like fetch. In addition to these prerequisites, I really think everybody should build at least one website or one project using vanilla JavaScript with HTML and CSS before you start learning React. And that's something that I wish I did before I started learning React, because when you get to something you don't understand in React, it's going to be a problem with JavaScript, most likely, and you're not going to understand what's happening under the hood. I think it's really important, and it was a lot harder for me to backtrack into learning JavaScript concepts or deep level JavaScript concepts to understand why I was having specific problems in React once I got more adept at using React and into more complicated things. So because of this, I really recommend that you do at least one project with vanilla JavaScript. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You just want to understand how the DOM is manipulated, how you can structure a JavaScript project, and things like that. You'll thank me later. It won't take that long. Trust me on this one. This is going to be the case because React is a JavaScript library for manipulating user interfaces. And so you want to really be aware of the bare bones alternative way of doing things, just so that when you get a problem, like I said before, you know what's kind of happening under the hood and you can kind of sort of piece together where you should look for an answer. And so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you like and subscribe if you decide to continue on with this course. I'm going to be trying to set things up so that I can release more than one video per week if I'm doing this course, because the videos will be shorter. So I'll try to release my regular content as well. And thank you for all your support.